name is Harry, and I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here.
Today is June 12, 2025. It is 5:02 a.m. I just finished editing whatever I recorded yesterday. Some of them are uploading on YouTube, like this one here. But let's go on Twitter because I have a lot to share with you. And it seems like the topic of Brooke Shield is still going on. So majority of the tweets that I have are making reference to Brooke Shield. So there might be part 1 and part 2 in this recording. So let's start with this. I think I put it in the right order, the way I think it should ease into the conversation, but let's see. First tweet. All right, does Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan's PDA expose the monarchy? All right, so that was like 2 hours while I was editing some videos, and I got tired and I hop on Twitter and put, add to my list. So that was about 2 hours ago when I saw this. So this is my response to it. Happiness exposes their evil ways. It's like water that extinguishes fire. The royal family wanted so much negativity for Harry and Meghan with our prayers and support that they can't function, and it drives them crazy. So I said, let Harry and Meghan's love keep shining and the royal family withered. Okay, Harry's love for Meghan definitely highlighted other people's lack of love for their wives. That's for sure. Harry and Meghan are in love. Katie is in loveless relationship, but she will never leave because she spent months and months stalking Willie, and the benefits outweighed happiness. It said, if they had mind their own business, that's the thing. If they had mind their own business, stay in their whatever craziness bubble that they want to be in, they would have been okay. But the thing is that what's happening now, and still they haven't learned. They refuse to leave Harry and Meghan alone. They have to interfere in Harry and Meghan's happiness. And this is what's really killing them. Yes, like a gigantic magnifying glass, we can see all their fake situationships? What is that? Situationships. Okay, whatever. Okay, so I'm going to read all of the comment. Bottom up. You are amazing. I'll be watching it. The royal die with our late Queen Elizabeth II. Now it's just a shame. There's a lot of emojis. You do such a phenomenal job. I think Harry and Meghan set themselves apart from other royals at the start. They love out loud and haven't changed. They stand since. This, I'm glad I read that last. What's happening is that Harry and Meghan is their foundation. Okay? Their foundation, there was work that needed to be done in their foundation. Harry was lacking a lot of things that would make the relationship solid. And when Meghan recognized the lack, the faults, the cracks, I'll say, the instability within Harry, she highlighted it with love and care and understanding to Harry. And then Harry had to look upon himself to recognize those things that Meghan was pointing out to him, and for him to recognize it that, yes, I do need help.
People have said my wife saved me.
Yeah.
I was stuck in this world.
Yeah.
And she was from a different world and helped sort of draw me out of that. But none of the elements of my life now would have been possible without me seeing it for myself.
Yeah.
As we know, it's one of the, it's hard to change. It's almost impossible to change other people.
Yeah.
You've got to start with changing yourself and allow that growth to happen. But yes, my partner is an exceptional human being, and I'm eternally grateful. for the wisdom and the space that she's been able to give to me.
Well, there's an incident in the book where you kind of lose it. I think you lose your temper, and she says to you, "You can't do that with me.
Mm-hmm.
I will not be with a person who does that.
Mm-hmm.
I will not have children with a person who does that.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have to figure out what's going on inside yourself." And my wife, bless her soul, has always challenged me to, she wouldn't put up with anything less than my true self.
Mm-hmm.
And what a gift.
Mm-hmm.
And so relationships, but not just with spouses, but also with people who see you and accept you, such an important part of healing, I think.
And I needed that.
Yeah.
I really needed that. I needed that pushback. I needed that moment of, again, scared of losing her. And it was a real moment because of the question that she asked.
Yeah.
She said, is it because that was how you were brought up, or that you've experienced or seen or heard, other people within your life speak to women like that? And it was like a light bulb moment. It was like, wow.
Yeah.
That's where it comes from. Not an excuse.
No.
Just
an
understanding of how these things manifest themselves and how we are so much a product of our own upbringing.
And then, you know what also helped me? I don't know if anybody, I think some of the squad probably seen it, but maybe it was never worded, is that the lack of love that Harry was getting from the royal family, the way they treated him, I think because of the hierarchy and the institution, he withhold those mistreatment that they were inflicting on him. He held them in, and the pain, it hurts him, but he had nobody else to talk to about those kind of things. If his mother was alive, maybe that would have been somebody. Well, if Princess Diana was alive, that would be completely different story here. But let's pick up since his mom died, pretty much. Okay, so all of the mistreatment they were inflicting on him due to hierarchy, he can't, I guess, word it out. I'm just guessing, okay? This is my opinion. So when he came across Meghan and saw the love and so many other things I have said in past videos, Meghan's friends, they then blab out to the media for extra cash. He was there to be himself with Meghan's friends, hang out and have fun. So when you put all of this dynamic kind of situation together, Harry is a very smart man. I mean, you will have to be completely blind and lose all your senses to not recognize the opportunity of love and affection that he will get from Meghan. Okay, so once he realized all the faults, the insecurity within himself, so he went and fixed himself. Okay, Meghan just highlighted the issues, like for instance, when they were cooking, whatever the discussion was, where Harry out of nowhere raised his voice on Meghan, and Meghan removed herself from the situation, and then go somewhere, I think the bedroom or something. And then when Harry realized Meghan then come back and went to look for her, and Meghan pointed out the situation. And I don't blame Meghan. Okay? Let's not forget as well, Meghan was married before. I don't think she wants to, go in a situation from bad to worse. I don't want to bring her past in, but it's obvious, we all know she was married. So whatever the situation was in her first marriage, that didn't work. And to go in that relationship to see how he's behaving, talking toward her, that wasn't going to work. Can you imagine, you finish work, you spend more time at your job than at your house, excluding the weekend. Okay, some people do work in the weekend as well. So when you in the office, being professional, you holding certain feelings because there's some shady people who works with you. So once you get home, you want to be relaxed. You want to be yourself. So if you come home and your husband is acting like a freaking idiot, you don't want that. So Meghan highlight this stuff while they were courting, and I think this is the foundation of everything, because they work the situation, the problem. And that could easily be vice versa as well. If Meghan, I'm not saying Meghan is perfect, but if Meghan did something that Harry did not like, and I'm pretty sure Harry probably raised it to Meghan, and then they talk about it, and then Meghan reflect on it and see how she could change. So this is what happened. And I hope young people, as they dating, instead of open their legs, and then I don't know how young people do it now, but this is what happened during a relationship. When you're courting, you get to see the flaws, the good, the bad, and everything. And if something that you want to cherish is there, and then there's some bad things, you need to highlight it and see if the person could make the change himself. Don't force it on the person to make the change, but highlight it. And if it's persistent, it's up to you if you want to stay in a whatever relationship that is. And then just know that you got the preview already before you seal the deal. Okay, so I think it's their foundation that really kept them where they are right now. Okay, so let's move on. Next tweet. Okay, the next one is, I saw Brooke Shield was trending. I'm just going to read each of those, some of them, not all. And I think this one, I put it on the list. So I'll, let me see, so that'll be the next one. I put this on the list, but the others will be part of the trending. Okay, I'll just read the first one. Dear Brooke Shield, I stand with women, but not with those who attempt to tear others down with lies. Women's empowerment should never come at the cost of truth. You should apologize. Okay, so someone retweeted that. I don't know who's that. Radical Scorpio. Probably a squaddie. I don't know. Yeah, a lot of squaddies follow this person. I don't. All right, so that's that. There's another one. Let's pause this. This tweet, the TikTok video, I shared it. I think that's the one I shared in one of my videos. Okay, shame on Brooke Shield. Meghan Sussex names support thousands of people who should be thanking her instead of dragging her name to the mud and wanting to hurt her. She pays your bills, and one day you pay for the hurt you do to her while using her name for a living. Sussex Squad, Ashley Kentley. So who's Ashley Kentley? Okay, so let me go and see what is that. Meghan Sussex simply answered the question posed by another. Okay, I think I read this in one of my videos, so I don't want to waste time on this. This will be the next tweet I have, and that's the same person again, which I highlight in one video. Let's see here. This is someone else. Did you even read the article? Meghan was asked to tell the story. Contrary to her comment in the podcast, Brooke Shield let Meghan finish. Okay, let's see here. Video contradict Brooke Shield's version of event. During the SXSW panel, Meghan Sussex shared her well-known... Okay, let me go into it because it looks so small. Let's pause. Oh, what the hell just happened? Pause again. Well-known story about riding the Procter & Gamble at age 11 to protest a sexist dish soap ad. The company later changed the article. She highlighted that. Meghan's story lasted under a minute and came in response to a prompt from Katie Couric. It ended without disruption. Okay, so let's listen. Oh, actually, let's just finish with it, whatever I could see. Then came Shield comment. She chimed in with a joke about portraying a sexual exploited child and Pretty Baby at age 11, calling Meghan's stories too precious. The audience laughed, but the tone shifted. What seems like an attempt at humor now reads to many as unnecessary and undermining. Okay, so let's listen to this.
To P&G, because I don't know if everyone's heard it, but it's such a great story at a very young age what you did.
That's so fun. Yes, I was.
And let's not forget, Katie Couric is into journalism, so she knew the past of Meghan about this, and she raised that since the whole thing was about women empowerment and things like that. So that was a great story to raise, and then she came and brought this on herself, because this was like last year, 2024.
Disrupted the flow. I'm so sorry.
No, it's
but
good.
go
We
ahead.
have a conversation.
We know a little bit about interviewing Katie. I think it's okay. Let's jump in here.
I was 11 years old, about 11 years old, and I'd seen a commercial on TV for a dishwashing liquid, and the boys in my class at the time said, it said, women all over America are fighting greasy pots and pans. And the boys said, yeah, that's where women belong, in the kitchen. And at 11, I just found that infuriating and wrote lots of letters and put pen to paper, and they ended up changing the commercial. to people all over America. And you know, it's funny to look back at it now because that was before social media, where you had a reach that was so much greater. It was just an 11-year-old with a pen and paper. But it just, I guess, goes to show that if you know that there's something wrong and you're using your voice to advocate in the direction of what is right, that can really land and resonate and make huge change for a lot of people. So your voice is not small. It just needs to be heard.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is where we're this is one of the ways where we're different. When I was 11, I was playing a prostitute. So
Okay, Brooke.
I wished I'd
see
known
where
you
we're going here.
when I was
A little
11.
different.
I would have been writing very different letters, but equally important, I hope.
Oh my God.
11-year-old Brooke and 11-year-old Meghan, this one's for you.
Okay, so she was the moderator, and Katie Kirk was one of the guests who raised the Procter & Gamble topic, and Meghan answered it, and it finishes, and that's when Brooke Shield came and put her thing in.
We know that the situation is no.
Okay, it's done. All right, so let's leave that alone. Oh, what is it? Meghan Markle told the story. She knows she did. She just expect people to, oh, please. That's the story. Okay. It was televised. That's the thing as well. All right, since it's there, I will, okay, you got all the negative comment under there. She thinks she's a princess. Yeah, she is a princess. I don't even think Meghan care about all of that, but she marries a prince. Technically, she's a princess. All right, so this is the commercial when she was 11. Let's go into it, and then I'll get out of the trend and go to my next tweet. Okay, which is why the commercial was altered, and Nickelodeon's Nick's News made a piece about Meghan back then. Shaking my head, okay?
Nick News.
I don't think it's right for kids to grow up thinking these things.
She was
that
12,
just
would they
mom
put 12?
does everything. My name is Meghan Markle. I'm 12 years old, and I just graduated from the 6th grade, and now I'm going to the 7th.
I hate my wimpy toilet bowl cleaner.
Commercials, they do say a lot of things that most people don't even notice. Mostly like laundry and dishwashing commercials.
Women are fighting greasy pots and pans.
And I said, wait a minute, how could somebody say that? I think I'll write a letter. The president of Procter & Gamble, Procter & Gamble Companies, Cincinnati, Ohio. Dear sir, last week at my school, we decided to watch the news for social studies. While going through the channels, we saw a commercial for the new Ivory Clear dishwashing liquid. In the commercial, they said women are battling grease, meaning only women do dishes. When I heard this, the boys in my class started saying, yeah, that's where women belong, in the kitchen.
I really don't think it was very nice for the boys to say it.
They knew it hurt my feelings. It makes me feel like they're gonna grow up thinking that girls are less than them. You know, like boys are better than girls. So I was wondering if you would be able to change a commercial to people all over America. Thank you, Meghan Markle.
3 months after Meghan wrote to the president of the company, Procter & Gamble changed the commercial. Listen.
The gloves are coming off. Fighting greasy pots and pans with Ivory Clear.
First one, they said women are fighting grease, and then the second one, they said people are fighting grease.
But wait again. The commercial is now talking about people, but it's still showing only women. So they got it almost right.
If they were gonna change people in their thing, why didn't they put like a man or two in that thing?
I think it's very important for kids, and maybe especially for girls, to tell companies to get real.
Maybe we should keep writing letters, and maybe they'll get the idea, and they'll shape up the commercial a little bit.
If you see something that you don't like or offended by on television or any other place, write letters and send them to the right people, and you can really make a difference for not just yourself, but lots of other people.
All right, so this is it here. And just keep in mind, even though if you want to see it freely without any interruption, find it on YouTube or go on X to look at it, because I'll have to change the music, put some screenshot, and pretty much alter it so YouTube don't how do you call this? Don't flag my video. Okay, so we're done with this, and this is what all this was about. And then Brooke Shield came in and said her thing, and then she had some ill intention behind it for bringing it back up for some reason, I think. All right, so let's go to the next tweet. So I'm done with the thread. There's more, but I already have a list, so let me focus on my list. Next one. Unlike Brooke Shields and India Hicks, Meghan Sussex has been uplifting women and girls throughout her life. That's another video, 43 seconds. There will be screenshots.
And what I have learned, especially working with young women around the world, I was just in Rwanda, here in the States, it doesn't matter where they are. I think there is such an incredible passion, curiosity, and interest in all of us, and that I think if you have that confidence in yourself to really see it, treat yourself like you would your best friend, you know, and remind yourself every day how awesome you are. That is a common thread that I see in young women everywhere. And yeah, young women, what do they say? That's so great. Like, girls with dreams become women with vision. You're that. You're that.
All right.
And what
it's starting over. Let's read some of the comments. Let's pause this. There's a heart. That's an ad. Okay. Yes, absolutely. Confession of a female founder. I think that you start your business and then you find yourself. It gives you confidence that you didn't have before. Okay. Tina knows. She thinks what she is saying is profound while the rest of us are yawning. Okay. Who? Meghan? Let's see here. Okay, maybe work on some facial exercise, Karen. You look a little melted. Oh, I forgot, I'm on a different tweet. She's talking about this. This is what happened. They refuse to understand simple things. White fragility is a disease. Throughout her life, you ignore full. That woman claimed her fame on a TV series that now forgotten. And then oh God. Yeah. Let's leave that. I don't want to get to all of this because I have more to share with you. This is the problem with society. When you talk sensibility, understanding, caring, they don't get it. These people don't get it. And this is why we are in a state of savagery and barbaric behavior, cruelty. This is what many of these people prefer. All sort of jealousy, things like that. I just don't understand it. They just want to inflict pain onto people. But talking about sensibility, understanding, caring, compassion, they're not about that. God help us, please. No one is talking about the fact Brook started with, she is going to get hated for saying it. Yeah, I said that in one of my comments. But Brooke was thinking of herself with zero care about the hate Meghan is going to get. Right. Oh, there's the video again. I believe they said they removed it, they deleted it, but you know people, they copy it. This is where Brooke Shield, out of nowhere, remember that video where Katie Couric asked Meghan about her 12-year-old video about Procter & Gamble? That was like last year, or could have been the year before. It was done with. People move on. Nobody raised that situation about her being, she was playing prostitute or anything. It was done with. The moment it was done with that program where all women were on the stage, people move on. So I don't know why she felt she had to bring this back up again. And then, okay, let's listen. At one point where she's going to say, you're probably going to have to delete this, she knew she was going to say something stupid. But let's listen. 2 minutes and 30 seconds, screenshots, okay?
Tell you? No. Oh God, I don't know if you'll have to cut this out, but you might. I don't know. You'll decide later, okay?
Okay, this is the warning that she's giving. Okay, you might have to cut this out. Let's start all over.
God, did I tell you? No. Oh God, I don't know if you'll have to cut this out, but you
say, I don't know if you have to cut this out, but you might, okay?
You might. I don't know. You'll decide later, okay? This is the best bit of all. This is the best bit of all.
She gave the warning.
I don't know if I'm going to get hated, but I get a call from Katie Couric. And she's doing South by Southwest. Big. They're closing the middle arena. We're closing it out. We're the only one. It's thousands of people. It's Katie Couric, Meghan Markle, and a doctor, and Katie asks me to be a part of it. So I was like, oh, okay, all right. You know what? Just do it. Just go talk about what you need to. We get there, Katie asks the first question to Meghan and talks about how, you know, at a young age, she was already advocating for women, etc. So she starts talking and telling a story about how when she was 11, and she keeps saying, well, when I was 11, I saw this commercial and they were talking about washing dishes, and only soap for washing dishes was for women. And she said, I didn't think only women wash dishes. It wasn't fair. So I wrote to the company. And when I was 11, I wrote my first letter, and then I was 11, and she kept saying she was 11. She writes to the company, they changed the text, they changed the commercial. And I go, excuse me, I'm so sorry. guys, just interrupt you there for 1 minute. And I was trying not to be rude, but I wanted to be funny because it was so serious. And I go, I just want to give everybody here a context as to how we're different. I said, well, when I was 11, I was playing a prostitute. The place went insane. And then luckily, it was more relaxed after that. And I was like, oh, I hope she doesn't think I'm rude. I'm not being rude. I was just sort of...
I think it's genius.
It was just too precious. And I was like, they're not going to want to sit here for 45 minutes and listen to anybody be precious, like, or serious, or...
Definitely not on this podcast. There's no pressure.
Well, no, but like, this was in front of... I mean, it was crazy. And then afterwards, she was kind of like, oh, okay. And I was like... let's just have some fun with it, you know. But it was so
Katie
funny.
must have been brilliant because she's a wonderful moderator between the two.
She's so great. I mean, she does it in her sleep, I think.
Yeah, Katie Couric was not the moderator. She was part of the panelists there, and the black lady near the end, I believe, was the moderator or something like that. I think it happened. I forgot already, but I shared the video with you. All right, let's see here. Brooke Shields, Katie Couric gave you an honor, inviting you to sit as a panel member at SXSW to speak of and discuss women empowerment. You could have learned from it session, but you didn't. Okay, let's see here. Too many abbreviation. How bitter, Betty, and self-righteous you show yourself to be disrespecting Meghan Sussex with India, a thief. Okay, Brooke looks so gender side like a... Okay, I don't want to talk about that. Okay, well, it is Meghan's favorite story, apart from the part where it was a class project, of course. Okay, they asked her the question. That's the thing. She didn't bring it up. I could understand if people were upset, you know, let's say Meghan decided to change the topic and say, you know, at 11, I did this, I did that. No. They raised the question. They asked her to talk about it. So she spoke about it. What has Brooke Shield actually done for women's rights? Like, she went through all this exploitation and trauma as a child, and now all I see is just her talking about it. Has she actually done anything to improve child actors' safety laws and how they treated on set? That's a very good point. In that moment, hearing how useful and productive Meghan was being with her life as an 11-year-old, but the video said 12, and she was not, made her feel some kind of a way. It's typical for many people like her to do this, dismiss person of color for doing good cause they're not, especially as an 11-year-old. Okay, so interesting. It sounds like she was feeling insecure and used her own trauma to bring attention back to herself. What was the point of her telling this story anyway? I don't get it. Okay. Two different things here. Was it Meghan? We already know it's Katie Couric who asked her and then she brought it up. Or is it Brooke Shield? A year later, she decided to bring it up. Let me read what's there and then move on. There's some very good comment here. So to lighten the mood and have some fun, Brooke decided to remind everyone that at 11 years old, she was sexually exploited and objectified on screen, because that topic is a really fun mood lightener. Okay, now that I've seen what Brooke said and how much she edited, recollection did vary. That story in the podcast, I definitely side-eye her. I'm really disappointed in her. She doesn't deserve a seat at any women's empowerment forum with comments like that. That's a very good point. Okay, let's see here. This is the one I say I wanted to go. Exactly. Why a year plus later? Okay, I guess she was making reference to Brooke Shields. The moderator, Katie Couric, asked Meghan to. Brooke is being the B word. She should know better. Okay, 5 minutes of fame. It got her trending on Twitter. To let people know she was insecure about what she did at 11 compared to Meghan did, which tells me her lack of emotional intelligence made her believe this story will be detrimental to Meghan. Yeah, she gave the warning at the beginning. Okay, in fact, she confirmed reasons she could never have lived under a misogyny rule. Okay, I'm genuinely confused. All right, let's get to the next one. Okay, still about the dishwasher topic. That's what's going on right now, so this is why I was able to get all those tweets here. Okay, I hope Meghan tells her dishwasher commercial story 1,000,000 times so 1,000,000 other little girls can hear it and know they have power no matter how young they are. That's a very good point as well. But one of the things that I was thinking as I was watching the videos and this recording is that our society is disrupting young people's way of thinking. First of all, look what's happening right now in the US with all this deportation. Do you know how many families' lives have been disrupted? And it's going to take them back several years again to get back on their feet if we don't get this right. The other thing as well, with TV, video game, you have things on your phone. Kids are distracted from silly stuff. So when things that matter that will affect their lives, like when it's time to vote, do you know who to vote for? Or do you know the rules of the game? I'm sorry, I'm calling a game. It's not a game. Of your government, to know how it works. So you could take proper steps to vote in a smart way. So this is what the US have done, disrupt many people. Okay, from focusing on what's really matter. Meanwhile, the ones who's controlling and writing the rules are tag teaming with other people to disrupt the vast while they controlling the wealth. It's very hard to explain, but if you know, you know. All right, so let's read some of the comments here. Truth, which is the better option? Girls being 11 and fighting bigotry and misogyny, or being 11 and knowing your mother signed you up to play a prostitute? In a world of Brooke, be a Meghan. That's a good one. Right. There's power in that. You see it, you hear it, you know you can do it. Meghan Sussex is a role model. I keep talking about it, Meghan. Everyone needs to hear it, especially young girls. There's a video I have on PYTE. That was at the beginning of when I started talking about Meghan. I remember I was camping and that came to mind, and I took my phone to record whatever that I was thinking, how Meghan is a role model, young girls, not knowing all of the stuff that I'm aware of now. Okay, I was not following Meghan, but this came to mind and I was like, oh, while it's fresh in my mind, let me record it. So I took my phone and just recorded. And then once I came home after the weekend, because we were camping, and I turned it into a video. Okay, they have succeeded in helping Meghan tell the story 1,000,000,000 times. Now everyone in this planet knows about her. I'm good. I love that story. I watch, hear it over and over. I even make my kids to watch it because the tiniest voice have power. Okay, amen. If you don't tell your life story, who else will? Okay, and the panel led by Katie Couric. I don't think it was Katie Couric who was the moderator. She was part of the panelists. How do you call this? The guests, just like Meghan and Brooke Shields. And it was her who was aware of the story. Maybe they did, the others knew, but it was not part of the discussion. But Katie Couric, who brought it up and asked Meghan to explain it to the vast. Because Meghan, as a little girl, to do this huge thing, and in a forum where a lot of eyes were there, it was a perfect place to bring it up. And it wasn't Meghan who brought it up.
To PNG, because I don't know if everyone's heard it, but it's such a great story at a very young age what you did.
That's so fun. Yes.
Disrupted the flow. I'm so sorry.
No, it's
but
good.
Go ahead.
Have a conversation.
That's what I love about interviewing Katie. I think it's okay.
I was 11 years old.
Okay, and the panel led by Katie Couric, Katie asked Meghan to tell the dishwashing liquid story. Okay, exactly. It sure beats talking about playing the part of a prostitute at age 11. There's the heart and there's the laughing thing here. emojis. Let's go to the next tweet. I might have to record later because it's 5:30. So we'll see. Interesting. Brook Shield podcast interview criticizing Meghan Markle removed from website. After Brook Shield appeared on a recent podcast discussing her experience on a panel alongside Meghan Markle, the interview appears to have been quietly deleted from the internet. The squad have copy of it and I just share it with you. Okay, the thing that gets me about these white women constantly coming for Meghan is that Meghan never has an unkind word to say about anybody. I think India and Brooke, Brook Shield, realized how much they were getting dragged when Brooke totally misrepresented what happened last year. I watched the panel online. Meghan did nothing wrong and Brooke also didn't interrupt her. Meghan had literally finished speaking and put down her mic when Brooke decided to talk about her being an 11-year-old prostitute. Brooke was using that moment on India's podcast to take a swipe at Meghan for literally no reason. That panel happened over a year ago. Jealousy is a dangerous drug. Yeah. Okay, I showed you the video already at the beginning. Brooke perhaps didn't realize that she looked like a mean girl and not as a strong woman uplifting another woman. Yeah, she just discredited herself. I just don't understand why she brought this now. That happened a year ago. Because, and even in the podcast that she brought it up herself. Okay, the way that she's sort of making Meghan seems like at the SXSW as if it's Meghan who bought the Procter & Gamble thing out of nowhere. Okay, it was asked by Katie Couric for Meghan to explain. And then in the podcast, Brooke, whatever the other person's name is, then ask her to talk about that. It's Brooke who took it upon herself to bring it up. But why? Okay, Brooke perhaps then realized that she looked like a mean girl and not as a strong woman uplifting another woman. Because what I've learned from the Meghan hate is only weak, jealous, and insecure women hate Meghan. All right. I get the major Hicks. Okay, what's that? I don't know what ICK stand for. I know the major, there's that word here, when people lie about things that can be easily disproven. I don't know if it's rather to lie about something that was taped or for the person hearing the lies to choose not to fact check a guess and get everybody extra embarrassed. If you come from Meghan, you best not miss. That is true. That is true. And like she was saying, I guess whoever the podcast owner is should have fact checked it. Can you? I don't even want to imagine. It can't be that this is doing the round as well. What is that? Warrior thief, Prince Charles and Princess Diana's bridesmaid, India Hicks, admits stealing $867 designer coat from Harrods. Okay, that was back in 2020. I remember reading it from one of my podcasts already. Yo, wasn't Brooke Shield on Archetype? Was she? I don't think so. Let's see here. Hell no. That was... Okay. I don't... Okay, the answer is no. Let me just move on. Well, she just asked her career. Well, I don't know. Because we are in a MAGA world right now, so we don't know. But whatever... Well, let's just say she just ruined anything that could have put her on a panel to help women. So she just ruined herself. They invite her to be one, and then out of nowhere, she removed herself from the panel. What she just did. What I mean by that is that when all four, Katie Couric, Meghan, Brooke Shield, and those other women that were on stage, this is where they invited her to be somewhat a voice for women. And then she removed herself from it by bringing what she just said about Meghan when it's not true. Okay, nobody's gonna listen to her now. It's almost, well, it's not as crazy as the other one of what happened to AH. I've spoke about her, some of the lawsuit that happened, and some of my videos. Let's move on. Next tweet. Brooke Shields flinched when faced with being seen as someone who dehumanized a black woman, and instead of standing in that discomfort, she hit delete and dipped. People went back, watched the clip, and saw for themselves nothing she described actually happened. Weaponized lie. That's pretty much that. Right, Brooke Shields claimed she interrupted the Duchess of Sussex at SXSW, but actually footage shows no such thing. The audience erupted, not quiet. Now the podcast episode has mysteriously vanished. Read on, okay? That explained it. Truly, thanks for sharing. Alright, there's that. Be quiet, get a stylist. A precious, a code for black women. Men looking Brooke. Okay, I don't want to call her that way. She's just fit, okay? She's just fit. When it comes to fitness, I'm gonna... I know you guys will come after me for that. She did her thing. She ruined herself. I'm not gonna add to her issues. All I have to say is baggage for God. That's it. But at her age, to look fit like that, that's a plus for me. That I'll give her credit for. But anything else, baggage for God, okay? I don't want to jump on the bandwagon calling her names, but she already ruined herself. Okay, she saw Meghan close up and was shuffling and moving aggravated during the whole panel. Where can we see the video? I reposted it. It's also on YouTube. Okay, no, don't try to soften the impact or reframe this as anything else but a lie and dehumanization. You cannot recenter or rewrite her racial homeland. The only thing more predictable than a white woman weaponizing a stereotype is someone rushing in to defend racism with deflection. Clown. It's pathetic because women like this are afforded every luxury, the epitome of privilege, yet she just can't be happy because a black woman is living her best life, being herself. It's low vibrational, but this type of typically are just ick, okay? Energy said. Alright, after this, that's it. While I watched the India Hicks clip, first then the actual Katie Couric clip, and I was like, wow, Brooke totally embellished that story to throw shade at Meghan. It didn't go down the way she said it at all. Couric asked her to tell the story, and then she kept saying precious. Alright, let's go to the next tweet. I don't know. The thing is online. I don't know why. First of all, I don't even know why she brought it up. Next tweet. Meghan says, let that lady deal with her mess. Don't be inviting her to your house for crepes and jam. Okay, so there's that. Yeah. Usually, what I realize with Meghan, when she meets somebody, whatever your first encounter, if there's a vibe that going on, if it's mutual respect and understanding, that friendship goes a long way. Okay, because there's a lot of people who's been with her since she was young. Whatever energy that kept them together, it's remain. So whatever Brooke Shield just did here, she just put her foot in her mouth. Okay, a part of me feels that exactly what Brooke wants, since it works so well for Gwyneth. This feels like the same tactic to get inside of her circle. No, I think this is done. I think she's done. I don't know. Well, the thing is that if there was something between Meghan and Gwyneth that went public, they will scratch it right away. I don't think what happened, when the Daily Fail bought the thing between Meghan and Gwyneth, they will squash it like that. But this is Brooke who brought it up for no reason. It's not the tabloid. There's a difference here. If it was the tabloid who raised that, and then Meghan or vice versa, the other one might call and say, let's squash this story. I don't want to be part of this mess. But she put herself in it. So it's not the same with Gwyneth Paltrow. Okay? Brooke put that on herself. Exactly, because soon or later, Brooke PR will contact Meghan. Absolutely, leave her be. Don't forget, nor forgive. Okay, no more olive branches this year. Agree, 100%. Yeah, this is a completely different scenario. I think the Gwyneth Paltrow thing with Meghan, it was brought up by the tabloid. And then, Meghan and Gwyneth squashed it. But this one is Brooke who brought it up on herself. Okay, she wanted to put that out there. She wasn't asked about Meghan. She volunteered a lie. This is the difference here. She volunteered a lie and it backfired. Maybe next time she will stick to the script, And for her to brag about playing a prostitute at the tender age of 11 is sickness. And then the other one, whatever, the owner of that podcast should have done the thing. And then you see how she said, you might have to delete this and that. Let's listen to it one more time.
God, did I tell you?
No.
Oh God, I don't know if you'll have to cut this out, but you might. I don't know. You'll decide later, okay?
This is the best bit of all.
This is the best bit of all. So, I don't know if I'm going to get hated, but I get a call from Katie Couric, and she's doing South by Southwest. Big. They're closing the middle arena. We're closing it out. We're the only one. It's thousands of people. It's Katie Couric, Meghan Markle, and a doctor. And Katie asks me to be a part of it. So I was like, oh, okay, all right. You know what? Just do it. Just go talk about what you need to. We get there. Katie asks the first question to Meghan. We get there. Katie asks the first question to Meghan and talks about how, at a young age, she was already advocating for women, etc. So she starts talking and telling a story about how when she was 11, and she keeps saying, well, when I was 11, I saw this commercial and they were talking about washing dishes, and only soap for washing dishes was for women. And she said, I didn't think only women wash dishes. It wasn't fair. So I wrote to the company. And when I was 11, I wrote my first letter, and then I was 11, and she kept saying she was 11. So she writes to the company, they changed the text.
She said 11, maybe 3 or 4 times. Not the way she's sort of explaining it. But that's not the big issue, though.
They changed the commercial. And I go, excuse me, I'm so sorry. I guys, just interrupt you there for 1 minute. And I was trying not to be rude, but I wanted to be funny because it was so serious. And I go, I just want to give everybody here a context as to how we're different. I said, well, when I was 11, I was playing a prostitute. The place went insane. And then luckily, it was more relaxed after that. And I was like, oh, I hope she doesn't think I'm rude. I'm not being rude. I was just sort of...
I think it's genius.
It was just too precious. And I was like, they're not going to want to sit here for 45 minutes and listen to anybody be precious, or serious, or...
Definitely not on this podcast. There's no pressure.
Well, no, but this was in front of... I mean, it was crazy. And then afterwards, she was kind of like, oh, okay. And I was like... let's just have some fun with it, but it was so
Katie
funny.
must have been brilliant because she's a wonderful moderator between the two.
She's so great. I mean, she does it in her sleep, I think.
That's that. All right, she obviously want attention. That's her ad. Doesn't Brooke Shield has daughters as well? Let's look. Let me pause and look. Okay, I just typed Google. Brooke Shield kids. Okay, she has 2. She's 60. 1965. One was 2001. Oh no, spouses. Okay, children, that's that. You have girls. It's kind of sad. This is the vote. Let's leave it as that. Baggage for God. Okay, let's read this. Again, stop highlighting the attack on her. Okay, what the actual... Well, people need to know what she's talking about. Okay? Because everybody's saying, oh, she overreacted, she did this, she did that, until you hear what she's saying. And then when you look at the actual SXSW video, it's completely opposite. Let's see what the comment says. Why not? She lied about it, and the world needs to see it. It's despicable. What the actual F? I really thought Brooke was a better person than this. I saw those shows she is talking about, and it never went down like that. I will never have pegged Brooke Shield as a person who will embellish a situation to be likable. Shield is a disappointment. Yeah. I thought she was above that. Someone had a different childhood than mine, so I'm going to make her story about me. Look at me centering myself so that her decision to stand up for women seems silly compared to the situation my parents put me in. Pretty much that. Wait till she turns the rightful criticism of her into claim of being attacked, then try to dismiss it as a mistake. She and Dean Cain make more sense now. They all eventually show their true colors, real pick-me energy, and that one perfect accompaniment to her Karenism. Okay. Will never have let my daughter play a prostitute at such a young age, but standing up for women at 11 or maybe 11 is standing up for women at any age. So, play a prostitute at 11, such a great career, probably encourage pedophile, so well done. Okay. Brooke is jealous that her childhood was questionable, to say the least. Why will a parent let their child play a prostitute and the now adult think it was funny story? Okay, it is Meghan's fault that Brooke's mom was pimping her to Hollywood at that age. Many Karens are intimidated by Meghan's success. She is beautiful, self-made. She has never had a scandal. That's right. It's just clean record at hard work, philanthropic work from the age of 11. Damn, Meghan, you rock. The royal family, the Daily Mail, the British media, and the UK tried to find dirt on her. They couldn't find anything. Okay? They could not find anything. That was something I was thinking about being 11 as I was reading those stuff. Okay, I can't think of it. Let's move on because I know few I have to wake up my kids. Next one. Okay, I might have 2 parts to this video. I have like 12 more tweets left. Yikes, I just watched the Brook Shield podcast video clip. There's the Pinocchio nose here. Let's pause this GIF. Did anyone notice that at the beginning of this podcast clip, that wasn't even the topic they were discussing? She just put it in there out of the blue. That's what I'm saying. She just put it out of the blue, and then she's making it seem like the SXSW thing was Meghan who brought it out of the blue as well, when it's Katie Couric who brought it up. Okay, she even told the alleged royal thief that you can edit it out later if you want. Like, what the hell? Yeah, because she knew what she was gonna say, and also it wasn't good. And she also said you could also delete it or something like that. Alright, she straight up lied, and that comment was unnecessary and mean. Her Karenism jumped out. It was intentional, cruel, and rude. That's how she has been telling that story to people who then attend the event or watch the video of the event. She was at a women empowerment event and deliberately lied about one of the participants. That's a shame. This is what I'm saying. They invite her to be at the table, and then this is how she spit back at it. In the original video, you can see she felt very awkward with the reception to her comment. She got flustered and tried explaining, but the panel moved on. I think her ego was bruised, and since then, she's been retelling the story to try and make herself feel superior. I don't know which other places, maybe privately, but this is a podcast, you know. When you talk about Meghan, the squad is everywhere. Even, you know, the same way the squad and Meghan have the haters looking at their stuff, there's some people, squaddies who watch the haters nonsense, and once they mention Meghan in a negative way, they make sure the rest of the squad knows. This is why I don't bother watching those idiots, those haters, the derangers thing, because once they say something bad about Meghan, I will know eventually, because the squad will let the rest of us know. Can you explain to me exactly what happened, please? Okay, short version. Brooke Shield was obnoxious toward Meghan Markle during a panel on a woman's empowerment, then recounted the story, spending two to make Meghan look bad on a podcast hosted by King Charles' goddaughter. Where did you see it? Okay, Brooke took it down. I thought, okay, somebody probably put it there. Okay, they black. Someone I black. Search her name on X, you find it in the thread. Okay, after these two, that's it. Okay, I thought that she was a good person and could understand considering everything she went through as a child in Hollywood and her postpartum depression struggles, but no empathy, only for herself. Okay, so there's that. What time is it? Okay, I have 5 more minutes. And I have a lot more to share with you. And there's some stuff regarding politics. It's not going to be recorded today, but I keep on adding to the list. It's getting too long now. Okay, I hope we ignore the woman who's best known for playing a child prostitute. It's obvious her star has faded and she's now seeking free publicity. Okay, that's talking about the same thing. Okay, she bought it back for her own reason. She's gonna deal with it herself. She had her own reason for bringing it back to life with ill intention, our ancestors said, not on our watch. So I leave her brought up unnecessary issue for her to deal with. Okay, I agree. I'm glad Squaddy shared videos showing the liar she is. Now we can move on. She is not worth our time. Not a fan of her. Why do these old washed out white women keep attacking our faith? Can they not accept there will never be anything close to Meghan? Some people are here for a reason, but Meghan is here for a reason. Okay, it's all about publicity and it's working for her. After all, when was the last time you heard her name mentioned? Well, I did. When she almost injured herself doing exercise. Don't forget India Hicks' part in it, although she is a thief. All right, that's the thing about her stealing dress at a whatever, at a store. Let's pause. Someone says she has something to promote, so she put down our faith to get attention. Okay, honestly, Joe, I love that she's embarrassed enough to take down the video, so let the world see how much of a mean girl she decided to be. Okay, typical from that cohort. Brooke has aged badly. Well, I don't know. That's a different topic here. I mean, when you're getting old and you don't do any crazy stuff with plastic surgery, you get what you get. I would rather, let me just leave that alone. Okay, don't really like to talk about beauty, but she did her thing and she's working out. By the way, okay, if you are one of those people who goes to the gym, as you're getting older, one of the type of exercise I will suggest you do is shrugs. Okay, for your neck area. And don't do it with light weight. Do the heaviest you could do to stretch and strengthen your neck muscles. Okay, because once you start aging, it shows under your neck. So if you go to the gym, my suggestion as a woman, not as a professional, how do you call this? Either a medical or a trainer, as a person who goes to the gym, if I were anybody who wants to focus on the stretch mark under the neck, is to do shrugs. And there's other exercises that people do, which I haven't done. So I'm going to focus on the things that I have done for myself. Is shrugs. Do the safest, heaviest weight you could do to do shrugs. Do not bend your elbow when you're doing it. Keep your arm straight against your body and do the shrug. That will help strengthen your neck muscle. Okay, so let's move on to that since we're talking about that. Brooke Shield aging. Okay, typical from that cohort. Brooke has aged badly. Okay, I thought we were talking about the actual event. And Brooke did not interrupt it. She did her white women what about me bit. I did not see the on the sofa interview where she lied about how it went down. She should be embarrassed. Maybe she is too old to remember the internet. I wonder if the video is taken out of context. I don't know. She was there. She was there in person. She was there in person. And the second thing is, she didn't have to bring this up at all. Not one bit. All right, next tweet. Did Meghan ever say an unkind word about Brooke Shield? What is with these white women? LOL. Okay, so there's all of that. Brooke Shield podcast interview criticizing Meghan Markle quietly deleted. So there's all of those headlines. All right. Racism closed under envy and jealousy. But the thing is that, okay, maybe this is what I was thinking when I was looking at some of those videos. Brooke Shield had all the privilege. The system was whatever African American had fought for women's rights. And was that lady that Meghan had interviewed? I'll show you the picture of her, probably one of my thumbnails, where Meghan sat under a tree outside with that lady. Oh my God, I can't remember her name. They fought for things back in the 60s for women like Brooke Shield. And a lot of African Americans were fighting to get a piece of the pie. But at the end of the day, it's white women who get the, 75% of the pie. And I don't know how many percentage of African American got. But what did she do with it? She was well off than most African American. But yet, why do the jealousy? Oh my God, she's too old for this, to bring herself in this kind of a mess. All right. So what you are saying is Katie Couric is also one of those white women who are threatening and jealous of Meghan Sussex, like you. The only exhaustion is you and your band of like-minded white women. I don't know. Katie Couric have proved herself. She's a journalist. She has her own YouTube channel. I don't know why she left NBC. What is it? She used to be co-host with Matt Lauer, and I think at one point Matt Lauer had some issues with sexual harassment at NBC. But Katie Couric has a YouTube channel. She talks about politics and things that's going on. I haven't watched it in a while because I'm staying away from politics, but occasionally I take a peek here and there. But she doesn't need to be in this nonsense. She had already proved herself. And these people are old. They don't need to be in this little nonsense gossip that makes no sense. And she bought the Procter & Gamble thing during the SXSW thing because she felt like it was a good story. Okay, that was it. She wasn't trying to bring Meghan down. And the panel was talking about women and things like that. So that was a perfect fit for her to bring this up.
To P&G, because I don't know if everyone's heard it, but it's such a great story at a very young age what you did.
That's so fun. Yes.
All right, let me read what's there and then let me go wake up my kids. Racist, hating to see a beautiful black woman living her best life. Okay, Brooke Shield is the same color as Marco. Evidently, you read little. Let's leave that alone. Let me go wake up my kids. All right, let's leave this. Let's finish this video. Okay, so please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. Thank you. All right, let's do a prayer. Prayer for vision. Okay, let's say truth. Oh my God, I can't even pray. And then that'll be it. Okay. Image, a small one. Let's do this. A prayer for living out of God's truth. God, thank you for the wisdom you're giving us to your world. Help me to take what I've learned and put it into practice in my daily life. Let my action reflect your love and guide me as I strive to live in a way that honors you. May your peace fill my heart as I follow your truth and trust you with each step I take. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, so that is it. Okay, this one is done. There's no issues, so I'll come back and check it. So thank you for watching. There will be part 2 because I have more to share, but let me show you. All right, I have these to share with you. It's still about Brook Shield and things like that. Okay, so that's it. Thank you for watching.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life. together. And if I may speak personally, we are all in this together, because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better